what's up? So today, guys, I wanted to do a big reflective video on the last year of Fortnite. And in this video, what I want to do is go through a ton of different topics and look at the best of 2019. So this is going to be one big video looking at the best skin of 2019, the best streamer of 2019, the best location, gun, etc. I thought this would just be like a really fun way to reflect on the last year. So we've got 4 different categories: cosmetics, figures, gameplay, and overall. And yeah, let's do this. Also, I'm gonna take this off now because I feel silly. All right, so first off, we're gonna look at the biggest category, and this is cosmetics. So first off, we'll look at the best weapon wrap of 2019. There were a few really loved weapon wraps this year, including things like Boogeyman, Magma, and Eternal Zero, but the overall highest ranked one was actually Boogeyman, so that's going to get the award for best wrap. You see how this video is gonna work now? Hopefully makes sense. For best backbling, the nominations were Banner Shield, Banner Cape, and Shattered Wing, and the winner is going to be Shattered Wing, part of Dream's set. Now, moving on from here, we've got best pickaxe. So a few of the notable pickaxes this year included the Riot Control Baton, recently released in the Star Wars event. We also had Minty, Widow's Bite, and the Fusion Scythe. Overall, though, if there is one pickaxe that I think has really made waves in 2019, though, it's gotta be Minty. There was no pickaxe that stood out as much as this one and really got the community talking, so I feel like it totally deserves this award. And next up from here, we've got best glider. The nominations are Falcon, Rift Rider, Holographic Umbrella, and One-Shot Umbrella. I think overall there were some really good gliders released this year, but none was more popular and well received from the community as Holographic. This was the Season 9 Winner's Umbrella. Now moving on from here, the next award is Best Dance. If I'm being honest, this was a really tough one, and I really weighed this one on the community vote. There were 3 options for this one. It was Billy Bounce, Scenario, and Dance Off, and the winner was Billy Bounce. Now from here, we've got a whole bunch of sub-awards for skins. The first is Best Mascot Skin. So I made this award kind of in the sense of there's some skins that are really popular that aren't really necessarily popular for pure cool aesthetic. The nominations in this one were Peely, Ripley, Marshmallow, and Triggerfish as a placeholder for Fish Stick. And I think without a doubt, the winner of the mascot skin for 2019 was definitely Peely. He's truly managed to become a mascot of Fortnite, and I think absolutely deserves this one. Now up next, kind of an interesting category, this is storyline skin. So the nominations for this one included Singularity, Ice King, The Scientist, and The Prisoner, and the winner was Singularity. Overall, a very cool skin with 3 selectable styles and 5 different colors based off of other really popular skins. I think this was a pretty easy choice. Next up, we have the best shop skin of 2019. Now, usually shop skins aren't as popular as some of the higher end battle pass skins, but there were some really good ones released this year. The nominations for this one was Ruby, Chaos Agent, Aura, Beach Bomber, and Dream. And while I think all these skins were incredible, the winner for this one was in fact Dream. This is one of the highest voted community skins in the history of Fortnite, and it is just a really cool, really clean skin. Now next up, we have the award for Best Skin Remake. Now the nominations for this one include the Ultima Knight, Eternal Voyager, Dark Red Knight, Catalyst, and Breakpoint. Now while all of these skins are again some of the best skins we've ever seen in Fortnite, I think the only fair answer to this one is going to be Catalyst, and it is the winner. Catalyst, the Drift remake, was a phenomenal battle pass skin, and it's actually the 2nd highest ranked skin ever, behind only the Black Knight. So we've got 5 spots for cosmetics left, and up next is Best Bundle. Shadows Rising, Dark Reflections, and Polar Legends were the top 3 voted bundles, and Polar Legends was the winner. Now, up next, we're going to look at the Battle Pass. The first award here we have is Best Individual Battle Pass Skin. So this is a category for Battle Pass skins that had little, if not any, editable or selectable variant styles. So like not a stage skin. Now the nominations for this one was Demi, Remedy, Ember, 8-Ball, and Onesie. And surprisingly enough, the winner for this was actually the Chapter 2 Medic skin, Remedy. Demi was a close second in my personal choice, but Remedy won out on this one. The next up is the topic of best staged Battle Pass skin. I should also make a note for this video that I did decide to include Season 7 Battle Pass skins on this list. 2 of the 3 months that the Season 7 Battle Pass existed was in 2019, so I think it is fair to give them mention. I mean, they did make up 1/6 of the year, so yeah. Anyways, the nominations for the best staged skin include Blackheart, Hybrid, Lynx, and Rocks. It's also worth noting that Season 10 and Chapter 2 didn't really have any staged skins, so there's a limited number of things to choose from. Anyways, I think without a doubt, as you guys are probably all expecting, the winner for best staged skin was Lynx. Just one of the best and most clean skins ever released in Fortnite. Now, the second best category for cosmetics is going to be best tier 100 skin of the year. So there are 5 tier 100 battle pass skins this year, and those included Ice King, Lux, Vendetta, Ultima Knight, and Fusion. Obviously, it's not going to Lux or Vendetta, but the winner, as probably most people expected, was Fusion. Really, like, this was not even close. Fusion is a super clean skin, and I was glad on the community's vote for this one. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the last thing for cosmetics we're going to look at is actually the entire Battle Pass. And so this one is the award for Battle Pass of the Year. And while this has a heavy focus on the outfits, it's looking at everything inside the entire Battle Pass. So the possibilities for this one was Season 7, 8, 9, 10, and Chapter 2. And well, it was a pretty big landslide by Season 10. Season 10 Battle Pass skins absolutely dominate the top of best skins list, and it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of an unfair vote really when you consider that it's literally just remakes of all the best skins of Fortnite. But I mean, it is what it is, and I think there's no denying that the Season 10 Battle Pass was far superior than every other one. All right, and so that is going to wrap up the best of the year cosmetics section. Now, next up is a small category, but this is going to be the best figures of the year. So first off, we have the best competitive player of the year. Now, best competitive player of the year is obviously a very tough one, and after thinking long and hard, there was really only one way to do this. Who won the World Cup? Asking you guys, there was really only one answer that came in, and in my opinion, that was the right answer, and that was Bugha. The winner of the Fortnite Solo World Cup, I think, really makes him the undisputed best player of 2019. Sure, there's been some really great players on the rise since then, but you know, if they were the best player of 2019, they would have won the biggest event, and I think Bugha deserves this. Because not only did he win the World Cup, he won it like pretty undisputedly, way ahead of everyone else, so very much deserved. Now, moving on from here, we've got the Fortnite YouTuber of the year. So this was going to be a really hard topic, and fortunately, about 6 months ago, I actually did a video looking at the best YouTubers. I had you guys, the community, rank them, so this is actually a fairly easy topic. In that video, the top 5 included Laserbeam, Fearless, Luke the Notable, Lachlan, and C-Day. Now, if C-Day uploaded more, I think that this might be a disputed spot, but undoubtedly, obviously, the winner of that was Laserbeam. He was one of the most watched creators on the entire platform and was the top watched Fortnite YouTuber. I mean, he blew up in 2018, but overall just absolutely dominated the trending gaming page, so I think there's no other obvious choice than Laserbeam. And lastly, for figures, we've got Streamer of the year. And fortunately, I actually did this list as well. The nominations for this one were Dakotas, Tim the Tatman, Myth, Tfue, and Ninja. Now, I think really this only comes down to 2 people, Tfue and Ninja. And so while Ninja really blew up in 2018, I feel like 2019 for him was a year of consolidation. Overall, you know, like he moved to Mixer and it wasn't really his big blow up year. Still obviously a titan in the industry, but as far as streaming goes, I'm not sure if he's really deserving of the award. And so I actually think that the person most deserving of this award is Tfue. In 2019, Tfue became the 2nd most followed channel on Twitch behind only Ninja. And on top of that, he was also the 2nd most viewed Fortnite channel. Yeah, like I said, you know, 2018 was Ninja's year of absolute dominance, and with the whole move to Mixer and stuff, I thought another choice would be, like, I guess fair. And just looking at the numbers alone, I think it goes to Tfue. Anyways though, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on from here and look at gameplay. This is going to be guns, items, POIs, LTMs, and all that fun stuff. The first award that we have is Best LTM of the Year. Now this was an extremely tight one, but the nominations for this one were Zone Wars, Endgame, Air Royale, and Floor is Lava. All of these, I think, are deserving of the top spot, but really, again, you know, nothing made waves like Endgame. Being able to not only play as Thanos this year, but also use all of the Avengers weapons was just an insane time and truly the most iconic game mode of 2019. Now, next up, we have the award for Best Non-Damaging Item introduced in 2019. The nominations include Chug Splash, Buried Treasure, Bandage Bazooka, and Slurpfish. Now, these are all very iconic and special items in their own right, but the award is going to go to the Bandage Bazooka. It's just truly one of the most innovative things we've ever seen in Fortnite. In late 2017 and early 2018, there were a ton of changes to the healing mechanics, and then it just stopped. And really, this to me was like the coolest thing they've added since. I think Chug Splashes are a very close second, as they are very similar to the Bandage Bazooka. The thing that makes the Bandage Bazooka so iconic and so useful is that it's got unlimited heals. Anyways, from here, the next award is going to go to Best Damaging Item. There were some really OP items added in this season, and it's gonna go to something really OP. The nominations for Best Damaging Items include Airstrike, Storm Flip, and Junk Rift. And while I hate to say it, the Junk Rift was an uncounterable weapon of destruction, and despite being OP, was clearly the best. Now, next up from here, we've got Best Vehicle. So the award for Best Vehicle of 2019 is going to the best transportation item, not the most powerful item that happens to transport you. What I'm getting at is that the Brute is not nominated for this one, but instead the options that we have here are the plane, driftboard, baller, and boat. The boat's cool, but on land it's not all that great. Both planes and driftboards were also really nice, but I think the best thing we got of 2019 was undoubtedly the baller. Not only did ballers give the player an insane amount of mobility, they also give added protection. Seeing as you can't get shot when you're in a baller, I mean, that's it right there. Also, just as a side note, I would really love to see a 4-man gigantic baller. I think that would be the funniest thing ever. And Epic, if you're watching this video, please make it happen. Just a gigantic ball that's got like 1,000 health or something stupid. Anyways, moving on from here, we've got the category of Best Overpowered Weapon. This is kind of like its own category of just things that were brokenly OP. The nominations are the Junk Rift, Gold Tactical SMG, and Brute Rocket. And to no surprise, it's gonna go to the Brute Rockets. Yeah. Now, moving on to our next spot, we've got the Best Newly Added Weapon of 2019. The nominations for this one include the AUG, Boombow, Flintlock Pistol, and Combat Shotgun. Now, while I have an appreciation for all these weapons, I think there is just no debate on what the winner here is. It's gotta be the Combat Shotgun. Just absolutely an insane, dominant, powerful weapon that was pretty much the entire meta of Season 9. And speaking of metas, the next award is actually going to go to Best Seasonal Meta. Now, the nominations for this one include Season 8, Season 9, and Chapter 1. Now, in my opinion, the Chapter 2 meta is very balanced, but also kind of boring. I mean, it's literally like just weapons. Get yourself a good shotgun, get yourself a good assault rifle, maybe have rockets, maybe have a sniper, and some sort of heals. You can switch up your heals with bandage bazookas and fish, but overall to me, it's just kind of a bland meta. It's good, but kind of boring. Now, overall, the Season 9 meta was incredibly polished as they needed to make the game super balanced for the World Cup. Looking at the season overall, though, the biggest issue was the reliance you needed to have on a combat shotgun. Combat shotguns were quite rare to find, and if you didn't get one, it was basically game over as soon as you encountered a good player with one. So in my opinion, that leaves Season 8, the best seasonal meta of 2019. And I think a lot of people don't think of Season 8 having a great meta, which shows that it was in fact a great meta. The thing I liked about Season 8 was that it was fairly balanced, but you kind of had options. So for example, you had the new addition of the Flintlock pistol. The Deagle was still pretty good, and on top of that, you still had the pump and even the suppressed SMG. There were a lot of interesting things for late game as well, like ballers and shadow bombs. Now, the boom bow was certainly the one thing that stands out as being a little bit broken, but in my opinion, it wasn't as game breaking as the combat shotgun. And for that reason, I think makes the overall meta of Season 8 the best we saw this year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally hit the great part of this video, and this is going to be looking at the overall best of 2019. So first off, I want to look at the best crossover of 2019. The nominations for this one include Avengers, John Wick, Batman, and Star Wars. Now, this one was absolutely close. Both Avengers, Batman, and Star Wars were all incredible events. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit scared to rate this one. So let me know what you think of this in the comments section, but my personal choice is this. I think it's Star Wars. I think. Now, Star Wars didn't have the greatest events, let's be honest, but it brought a lot of cool stuff to the game. On top of that, it was kind of like an ongoing crossover for a few weeks. I think Batman did a lot of great stuff for the game, and the Avengers Endgame was obviously an insane LTM, but they both didn't bring much more than that. The thing with Star Wars is that it was a real full package. You got gameplay, you got skins, and you got an event, and for that reason, I'm hesitantly putting it as the best crossover of 2019. Moving on from here, we've got the best events of 2019. So this is another tough call. I'm ranking this on the event's abilities to generate conversation. What was not only crazy to view, but got the community riled up. Now, the nominations for this one include the unvaulting of Season 8, the final reckoning of Season 9, and the end of Season 10. And it's a tough choice, but this one is gonna go to the end. So I think there's a strong argument to be made that the final reckoning is just as good, if not better, than the end event. But when you consider what the end did for Fortnite, it turned into that black hole, which I consider to be part of that whole big event. That made waves in Fortnite. Nothing ever sparked as much conversation and as much controversy as that black hole. And I think once you weigh that into it, the end is deserving of best event. Now, moving on to our next spot on this list, we have the Fortnite figure of the year. Now, there was another partial reason why I didn't give Ninja Streamer of the Year, and it's because I'm giving him Fortnite figure of the year. Now, despite receiving less overall views in the Fortnite sphere of 2019, there is no denying that Ninja is an absolute titan. Just the stuff he's done for gaming as a whole has been absolutely insane. I mean, his move to Mixer alone was nuts. And I mean, yeah, the person who's made the most waves in gaming overall happens to be in Fortnite, and I think in that case deserves the Fortnite figure of the year. Now, next up, we have the location of the year. This isn't necessarily a new location, but just a location overall. And this award is actually going to go to none other than Salty Springs. So there's been a lot of notable locations throughout this year of Fortnite, but nothing has been consistently as hot as Salty Springs. You know where Salty was when Tilted Towers got removed? Right there for you. Where was Salty when the entire map got removed? Still there for you. Salty has been a place of consistency, and game after game still manages to show that it's one of the most iconic places in all of Fortnite. And for that reason, I'm giving it the location of the year. Now, up next, we've got the weapon of the year. So obviously a few weapons come to mind. What was the most overpowered? What was the most, I don't know, cool? But this award is going to a weapon that has been consistent. And ladies and gentlemen, the gun of the year for Fortnite 2019 is the gold pump. So the gold pump both started and ended the year strong. It came into 2019 as the best gun in the game. And it is also leaving 2019 as the best gun in the game. And while yes, it was vaulted for some time, is there any weapon that people were more upset about getting vaulted than the pump? Absolutely not. I think it was the most insane vaulting ever. So for being the most consistent gun, most loved gun in the game, the gun of the year is the gold pump. Now, moving on from here, in our second last award, we have the skin of the year. So this is our overall skin award, not considering where it's from or what its past is, just the best skin of the year. The nominations for this include Eternal Voyager, Breakpoint, Fusion, Dream, and Catalyst. And based off completely the community's vote, the award for this one is Catalyst. The Drift remake, it's absolutely clean. It's got a few different color styles that all just look incredible. It's an obvious choice. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the final award for this list is going to be Season of the Year. So the seasons that we had were 7, 8, 9, 10, and Chapter 2. First, let's look at Season 7. This was overall a decent season that had a few major flaws. Planes, the Infinity Sword, and obviously just the fact that part of it didn't take place in 2019. Season 10's an easy one to chop off this list, as I mean, really, I think the community just generally hates it. What about Season 8 though? I mean, that was the one that got Meta of the Year. I feel like Season 8 was a good time to play, but there just wasn't an overall amount of hype in Season 8. To me, Season 8 really felt like a dead time where just not a lot was going on. It didn't have the best event, there wasn't a lot going on throughout the whole season, the Battle Pass was mediocre, I suppose. The new locations that were added were mediocre. Overall, there's just nothing that I feel like Season 8 did great besides actual core gameplay. Alright, well what about Chapter 2, Season 1? I mean, this was the most innovative season we got. I mean, a brand new map, brand new skins, just an entirely changed system of gameplay. What's wrong with Season 1? Lack of content. The middle of Chapter 2 or Season 1 really just didn't manage to take hold. All the new content was fun, but there was a big period in there where really just nothing was going on, and I feel like that really took away from it. But also, we have to take into consideration that Season 1 hasn't ended yet, and it could still do some really good, but may also do some really bad. Like if it has an awful final event, I mean, that's gonna be pretty disappointing, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, with all that said, the award for Season of the Year is gonna go to Season 9. As a whole, I think that Season 9 was Fortnite's most successful season. While again not having an overall great battle pass, everything else I think was pretty much handled really well. For a very late season, there still managed to be a ton of innovation. We saw 2 new locations, and while Neo Tilted wasn't really all that well received, Mega Mall was a good dropping point. On top of that, we saw the introduction of slipstreams, which was a great way to get around the map. Apart from the combat shotgun, I think the meta was overall still very sound, as again, I mean, it was basically the meta for the World Cup. And let's not forget the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup was a huge event, and we can't leave that out of this list. On top of that, we had the 14 Days of Summer event, which was a huge success, and this is before we even talk about the gigantic monster versus robot fight that happened at the end. Again, I think the final showdown is at least in the conversation of best Fortnite event ever. So yeah, I just feel like overall as a whole, Season 9 managed to do a lot of good while not doing too much bad. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to get the Season of the Year. And ladies and gentlemen, with all that said, that's going to be our video for today. So guys, thank you so much for making it all the way through on this one. I had just an absolute blast going over the last year and kind of making this all up. So thank you for watching it through. If you guys are new to the channel and enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, leave a like. I will talk to you guys later, and peace out, you freaking nerds. Screwed it up. Let's try it again.